We've got an exciting week of comic books coming up. So, while you're out there hunting for your next big key or about to grab your favorite read, you are definitely going to want to know what back issues are trending out there on the secondary market. So, go grab your vibe juice and meet me back here in the comic room. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Keep It Comics. As always, I am your humble host, C3. Before we get started, I just want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and checking out the channel. You guys know the routine. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and definitely make sure you ring that bell so every time I do a video, you wonderful people will get that notification. We've got an excellent top 10 list for you today. Trending comic books on the secondary market. You know how I like to roll. It's good vibes only, ladies and gentlemen. So you can check the nonsense at the door. We are just here for the love of comics. All right? So, jumping off the list at number 10, we want to start with an oldie but goodie. The title of this book is The Rifleman, issue number 10. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I attribute my love for this particular character to my dad. My dad is a big fan of The Rifleman. This book was released in January of '62. It's a Silver Age comic book. It's a classic comic book, all right? So I was looking it up, and I want to grab a copy so I can send it to my dad down in Louisiana, and this is what I found. It's a classic book, and the last recorded sale for this book was on January 14th of 2023, where CGC 9.0 sold for $1,680. This book has a current trend of 0.24%, ladies and gentlemen. It has a 0.24% increase in copies that have been sold so far. Now, the average sale for this particular book is $283. That's for a graded copy. For a raw copy. Now, for a graded copy, you're looking to pay about $515 for a mid to high grade copy. There's been 32 raw copies of this book that have sold, and there's been 18 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 50 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, keep in mind that back in January 14th of 2023, there was a high sale for CGC 9.8, like I said, for $1,680. Meanwhile, fair market value has this book resting at $283 for a raw copy that's in good condition. So if you are in the market for The Rifleman, issue number 10, keep your eye out on this book because it's definitely on the move. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sticking with that theme, on the move, we're moving right along to comic book number 9. All right, so next on the list, we have Moon Knight, issue number 1. Now, I've been excited about these comic books ever since the series. I was engulfed in the series. I loved it, and I can't wait till they start it back up. Moon Knight, issue number 1, and this is the Al Quay Virgin variant. It was released on July 21st of 2021, and it is a first appearance. It is the first appearance of Dr. Barter with a cover appearance of the Hunter's Moon. It's the first cover appearance of Hunter's Moon also. Now, so let's talk numbers about this particular book. In December 24th, 2022, a raw copy sold for $30. This book is currently trending upward with a 0.15% increase in copies sold. The average sale for raw copy right now is about $18, my friends. So average price per graded copy will run you about, you say, roughly $73 for 9.8, depending on where you negotiate that price at. Now, there's been 28 raw copies that have sold, and there's been 2 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 30 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, back in May 16th of 2022, there was a high sale for CGC 9.8 that was for $121, all right? But meanwhile, fair market value has this book resting at $18 for a raw copy in near mint condition. So if you are in the market for this beautiful Alan Quay Virgin variant of Moon Knight, issue number 1, keep your eye out on this book because it is definitely on the move, my friends. It is definitely moving on the secondary market, and it's just a beautiful cover. It would definitely be a beautiful addition to anyone's collection. All right, so moving right along on the list, we have number 8, This is a modern comic. It was published by Image. It was released in December of 2021. The title of this book is Department of Truth, issue number 14. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have to talk about this limited edition of Sanchez Tupac Shakur homage cover. This is just a beautiful cover. This cover was limited to 500 copies. So I wanted to get my hands on this book when it first came out, but I've been watching it and I was kind of waiting for it to take a little dip. So it's kind of leveled off right now, and I think it's a perfect opportunity to strike. You guys know my motto, strike while the iron is cold. I always try to shy away from certain books when everybody's specking on them and trying to grab them, because that just drives the price up. I like to wait to where no one's thinking about them, then I double back and grab them when nobody's paying attention. And I get them for a pretty decent price. So let's talk numbers thus far. All right. So last January, in January 17th of 2023, there was a CGC 9.8 sale of $300. So this book at the moment has a current trend of 0.18% in copies sold. All right. So it's not a lot, but there is significant movement there, all right? And I still think it's a perfect opportunity to buy. The average sale for a raw copy of this book is about $101, while the average sale for CGC 9.8 is, like I said, $300. There's been 46 raw copies that have sold and 12 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 58 copies of this book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, back in January of 2023, there was a high sale. Again, I repeat, a high sale for CGC 9.8 that was for $300. But also, always keep in mind, fair market value does have this book vesting at $101 for a raw copy in near mint condition. So if you too have been keeping your eye out on Department of Truth issue number 14, now may be the perfect opportunity to strike. Strike while the iron is cold. That Tupac Shakur homage cover is fire, and definitely one you may want to add to your collection. All right? Coming in at number 7, ladies and gentlemen, this is for all my Star Wars fans. Yes, and I too am becoming a very, very serious Star Wars fan. I'm watching these comics. This is a modern comic that we're going to talk about right now. It was released on January of 2023. Star Wars Hidden Empire, issue number 1. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second print. All right, definitely one to keep your eye out for. Stunning artwork by Arthur Adams, right? He does great work. And this is a first appearance and a cameo of Eden Versailles, right? So this is one that I want to add to my collection. This book has been moving on the secondary market. There's no numbers per se about trending right now, but it's moving. Like, there are some sales, and that has drawn my attention. So there are others who are aware of this comic book, but you could tell that it's very few. Like, so not a lot of copies of this was bought by comic book shops. So those that are trending, or should I say those that are moving on the secondary market, is only because the people who have it is willing to sell it. So the few that are out there, I don't think a lot of people are willing to sell this particular comic right now. They're waiting to see what happens with these new series and everything that's coming up. At least that's what it feels like, in my opinion. All right, so let's talk numbers. Last January 15th of 2023, a raw copy of this book sold for $180, all right? So that's for a raw copy, $180. The average price per copy for this particular book was $51. Now, keep in mind, there is no graded sales on this book just yet. And like I said, only a few copies sold, and that's what drew my attention to it. This is an awesome book, Arthur Adams artwork. I don't think a lot of people are willing to let this book go just yet. 4 raw copies have sold thus far on the secondary market. And like I said, keep in mind, back in January, there was a high sale for $180. Fair market value has it resting at $51. So I checked on eBay. I didn't see any listings for this book. That means it's not many copies out there of this second print that people are willing to let go. Collectors are holding on to this book, all right? So if you see Star Wars Hidden Empire, the second print, definitely jump on it. This is a buying opportunity. If you see it up there for a reasonable price, definitely grab it, because I know I am, all right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 6. This book is one of my favorites. I've been watching it, and now's the perfect time for me to grab it. It's a bronze title. It was published by Marvel and released in 1981. The title of this book is Spider-Woman, issue number 37. Yeah, there she is. All right. Now, the key points to this book is it is the first appearance of Siren. All right. Now, let's talk numbers. We know we got all the spiders coming to the Spider-Verse. At some point, we are going to see Spider-Woman. We don't know exactly when, but we know she's coming. All these Spider-Man movies, she's definitely got to pop up somewhere. So I'm just keeping in the back of my mind that she's going to eventually show up. And what is she going to be doing in the movie? I don't know. I'm just keeping my eye on the information that's being shared with us. And from there, it helps me determine which books I want to add to my collection. And this is definitely one. All right. So now, last recorded sale for this book was back in January 22 of 2023, where CBCS 9.4 of this book sold for $59. And that is not bad, ladies and gentlemen. $59 for a 9.4 for a high grade of this book is a beautiful price point for buy-in. This title has 57.41% increase in copies that have sold. Now, the average sale for this book is about $50 for a raw copy, and the average sale for a graded copy of this book runs you roughly about $158 to $160, which is still not bad. There has been 299 raw copies that have sold, and there's been 29 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 328 copies of this particular book that has changed hands. Now, let's keep this in mind. Back in July 15th of 2022, there was a high sale of a CGC 9.8 that sold for $529. So that helps me also understand that this may be a great time to buy this book. It was up back in 2022. So there is a dip in price point, and I think this is a perfect buying opportunity for myself and others who may be interested in this book. So also, fair market value has this book resting at $50 for a raw copy if it's in very fine condition. So if you are in the market for Spider-Woman, issue number 37, keep your eye out on this book, my guys, because it's definitely on the move. All right? Here we are, coming in at number 5. We are at the halfway point. Normally, I would stop, take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for stopping by, checking out the channel. But seeing as how I just did that, we're going to keep it moving. All right? Coming in at number 5, it's a modern comic. We've got some DC goodness pointed right here, ladies and gentlemen. This book was released on June 3rd of 2009. And the title of this book is Batman and Robin. Yes, my friends. And this has that beautiful yellow cover. Now, the reason I want this book is because it is the first appearance of Professor Pig. And seeing as how I just got done listening to the fact that they're about to do a new Batman, Superman, they're going to do the Super Sons storyline, I thought this was the perfect time to add this book to my collection. So let's talk numbers. The last recorded sale for this book was on January 25th of 2023, where a raw copy of this book sold for $9. This book is currently at a trend of 47.11% on the secondary market in units sold, all right? So the average price for a raw copy is about $3. I love that. Beautiful cover, first appearance. You don't have to spend a lot of money for it. That's the perfect trio right there. I like that. That's the Trinity for me. All right. Now, the average sale for a CGC 9.8 right now is about $104. Even that is obtainable in my world. So I can appreciate prices like this that will help me add value to my collection. All these books will add value to your collection. They may not be what I would like to say mega keys, but they are keys nonetheless. And over time, depending on what's trending, you'll never know what these books can do. And I see nothing but value because they're great books that you can spec on. And if nothing else, they are great reads. All right. So there has been 432 raw copies of this book that have sold, and there's been 22 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 454 copies of this book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, back in March of 2022, there was a CGC 9.8 high sale of $119, and I love that. Right? Because that helps me understand that I can definitely get my hands on this book for a decent price before they drop the series, the Super Sons series. And I'm excited about that. Leave a comment in the comment section. What do you guys think about them dropping the Super Sons series? You think it'll be worth watching, or you think they're going to flop and the books are going to fall off the show? The books are going to die off, all right? Leave a comment in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Fair market value has this book resting at $3 for a raw copy if it's in very fine condition. But there are tons of these books out there, so you don't have to go crazy. Just find yourself a good copy. And again, beautiful yellow copy. Make sure it has no spine ticks. There's no pigtail ears on it. There's no dog ears on it. No creases. Man, listen, find yourself a good copy and enjoy it in your collection. All right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 4, we have another book. This book is published by Marvel. It was released in October of 1974. It's a Bronze Age book, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So the title of this book is Tomb of Dracula, issue number 25. Yes. Now, with all the talk about Mahershala Ali playing the Blade and the problems that it has been dealing with in getting this movie completed, it hasn't deterred me from trying to land some significant keys in this particular series, right? It's the first appearance of Hannibal King. So we don't know who Blade is going to be up against, but I'm excited about Blade coming to the big screen. I can't wait for it. And not to mention, we also have Bloodline issue number 1 that'll be released on New Comic Book Day this week. I was looking that book up also. I already pre-ordered a couple of copies for my collection, and I also got myself that 1 in 100 Maria Wolf variant. Now, I just want to share this with you people in all humility, right? I'm not throwing any shade, but I just want to bring to everyone's attention that I did look on Key Collector's app because I was going to go through their app to purchase it, but it may be, they may have the ratio variant wrong about it. Like, so it looks like they have the 1 in 50 slated as the 1 in 100 and the 1 in 100 slated as the 1 in 50. So I was going to go through their app, but I didn't. So if you guys can get word to Tom and Nick and them over there, let them know that either their app is wrong or eBay is wrong. But either way, I grabbed a couple copies, man. I just thought that was funny, and it happens. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, man. Love the app, love those guys, but I just thought that was funny. So I added that Maria Wolf variant to my collection. It'll be coming in, I guess, in about a week or so. I'll share that with you guys when it gets here. But this Blade, Tomb of Dracula, issue number 5, let's talk about it. First appearance of Hannibal King. Last recorded sale date for this book was on January 8th of 2023, where a raw copy of this book sold for $122. Now, this book has a trend of 53.16% in comics that have sold so far. Now, the average sale for a raw copy of this book is about $30. Meanwhile, the average sale for a graded copy in a CGC 9.8 will run you roughly about $730 to $735. There has been 349 raw copies that have sold so far, and there's been 41 graded copies that have taken off since this book has been moving on the secondary market, giving us a total of 390 copies of this particular book that is doing numbers on the secondary market. Tomb of Dracula, issue number 25. Back in April of 2022, there was a high sale of a CGC 9.0 for $1,000. All right? So that was a high sell for a 9.0 back in 2022. Now, fair market value has this book resting at $30 for a raw copy in fine condition. So if you are in the market for some Bronze Age goodness, Tomb of Dracula, issue number 25, first appearance of Hannibal King, keep your eye out on this book because it is definitely on the move. All right? Now, coming in at number 3, we've got some more DC goodness. Yes, 2 of the beautiful books that I wanted to add to my collection. This is a Bronze Age book. It was released on March of 1978, and the title of this book is Firestorm, issue number 1. Now, it's crazy because I've had plenty of opportunity to add this book to my collection for not a lot of money at all. I have passed on this book so many times. I've been in back issue bins just peeling through this book, and I see Firestorm issue number 1 there, and I continue to let it ride. But now I think it's a perfect opportunity for me to go ahead and get this book. You can almost secure this book for just pennies on the dollar, and in a grade that is feasible to enhance the value of your collection. So this is what the numbers look like of this particular book. The last recorded sale for this book was on January 25th of 2023, where a raw copy of this book sold for $27. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, $27. That's it. You too can own Firestorm issue number 1 for just $27. All right, now, this book is currently trending up, but I still think it's a perfect opportunity to buy. It has a current trend of 90.38% increase in copies sold. The average sale for this book is about $39 for a raw copy, and the average sale for a graded copy is about $205 to $210 for a CGC 9.6. There's been 610 raw copies that have sold and 149 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 759 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, there has been a high sell, and that took place back in 2021, where a CGC 9.8 sold for $923, right? So back then to now, so you're talking about 2021 to right now, there was a high sell, but there's a significant dip in the amount of money that you'll have to spend to get your hands on a CGC 9.8 right now, right? So it's a perfect opportunity. I think you'll probably wind up spending anywhere between $900 to $1,100 for a 9.8, and that's not bad at all right? So take a look on eBay, see what you see, just move carefully, all right? But fair market value does have this book resting at $39 for a raw copy in very fine condition. All right. So if you are in the market for Firestorm issue number 1, now's a perfect opportunity to add this book to your collection, which will continue to help you grow your collection in value. Keep your eye out on this book. All right. Coming in at number 2, we have another Marvel comic. It's a Silver Age book. It was released in 1969. The title of this book is Avengers, issue number 62. Yes. Now, I have to have this book in my collection because you can't have the first appearance of Black Panther, the first appearance of Killmonger, and not have the first appearance of M'Baku. That's what this is. The first appearance of M'Baku. So let's talk numbers. Last recorded sale back in January 23 of 2023, where a raw copy sold for $68. And this book is now currently trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, with an increase in copies sold of 134%. Yes, 134% increase in copies sold. So the average sale for a raw copy is about $81 right now. The average sale for a graded copy is about $456, right? In a CGC 9.8. So that's not bad at all. There has been 567 raw copies that have sold, and there has been 124 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 691 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, there was a high sell back in April of 2022 where CGC 9.8 sold for $19,200. All right? So keep this in mind, that fair market value has this book resting at $81 for a raw copy in fair condition. So a CGC 9.8 right now in this particular book, I think I might have misquoted a little bit just now, so I don't know if you'll be able to get this book for that less amount. Maybe I'm thinking a 9.6, a 9.4 type of thing, but just do your research. Do a little research like I encourage everybody to do. Don't take my word for it. Do a little research, check, see what you see. But this book is definitely worth adding to your collection because this is a book that will definitely add value to that which you love the most, which is your collection, right? So keep your eye out on this book. If you are in the market for Avengers, issue number 62, first appearance of M'Baku, keep your eye out on this book because it's definitely doing numbers, all right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to our number 1 most trending comic of the week. And that book is a Marvel book. It was released in July of 1993. And the title of this book is Silver Surfer, issue number 82. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the key factor to this book is it's the first appearance and the first cover appearance of Tyrant. Now, I was looking up this particular series because, as you know, we have Silver Surfer that'll be being released tomorrow. So the new Silver Surfer book is going to be released tomorrow, or should I say today, because when you get this video, it'll be today for you guys. But anyway, first appearance of Ghostlight in that book. So I just wanted to see where they're trying to go with the Silver Surfer series and with the franchise and who we may see in the future if they bring Silver Surfer to the big screen, right? So I thought about this book. I put it as my number one because I think Tyrant is an excellent baddie for Silver Surfer to go up against. So let's talk numbers. Last recorded sale for this book was on January 25th of 2023, where CGC 9.6 sold for $46. Now, this title is trending at 116.79% increase in copies sold at the moment. The average sale for a raw copy is $12, and the average sale for a CGC 9.8 of this title will cost you about $250. There's been 286 raw copies that have sold and 9 copies that have changed hands, giving us a total of 295 copies of this book that has moved on the secondary market. Now, the highest known sale was back in August of 2022, where CGC 9.8 sold for $305. And fair market value has this book resting at $12 for a raw copy in very fine condition. So, if you are like me, in the market for Silver Surfer, issue number 82, keep your eye out on this book. Because with all this stuff going on in the MCU, we never know who we're going to see. And it's better to have these keys in hand to not have them at all. Keep your eye out on this book because it's definitely on the move. All right? So, I have given you your list, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, be careful, execute, but you never jump out of the airplane without your parachute. All right? The hobby should be fun. We should be enjoying what we're doing. No pressure, no stress, no strain. Right? Remember, it's good vibes only, ladies and gentlemen. So, as I look at the timer, we have not reached 30 minutes yet, so I'll tell you what I do. Since you stuck around, I'm going to show you some of the comics that I picked up last week, and hopefully it gets you all excited and motivated for New Comic Book Day, which is on its way. All right? So, without further ado, let's jump right on in, and I'll show you what I grabbed. All right? The first one I want to show you is a classic, and it came out last week. This was Darkwing Duck, issue number 1. I grabbed this beautiful variant right here. My kids and I were talking about how we used to watch all these comics when they were little, and it brought back so many memories. Like, I grabbed, this is Batman One Bad Day, Catwoman, issue number 1. This is the 1 in 25. Just such a beautiful cover. I can't wait to throw this in the Mylar. Beautiful artwork. Definitely one for the collection. I grabbed Nightwing, issue number, what issue is this? And it's got that George Perez black and white cover. In memory of George Perez. I love how he says his name. Rest in peace to George. This is the 100, issue number 100. I should have known that, right? But you guys know I'm slow. All right, so we're gonna pop that back in there. In memory of loving George Perez. Nightwing, issue number 100. All right, I'm gonna move these because I don't want them to fall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place them here. All right, I grabbed Scorched. This is issue number 14, that beautiful matte cover, David Mack, man. Beautiful. Beautiful cover. Issue number 1, Darkwing Duck. I believe this is cover A, if I'm not mistaken. I grabbed another Strange Academy issue number 9 variant. You can never have enough of these in your collection. Scotty Young, Roberto Ramos doing excellent with this story. I'll continue to grab those as I see them out there in the wild. To me, they're all definitely worth having in the collection, so I won't skimp on them at all. I'll definitely add those to the collection every time I see them out there. All right, let's move this up right here. Want that to stay. All right, here we go. We have Thor, issue number 30. We have The Last Ronin, Lost Years, issue number 1. And last, but definitely not least, we have this beautiful Harley Quinn, issue number 26, the Jenny Frison Bubble Bath. Man, isn't that nice? This is definitely a cover purchase for me. Definitely one to add to the collection. I noticed that there wasn't a lot of these out there on shelves, so I was glad to be able to grab them. You know, I'm glad that, you know, I was able to call my comic shop and they put that copy aside for me. So definitely happy to have it. All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my time for this day. I pray and I hope that you guys have enjoyed the show. Listen, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. So every time I do a video, you guys will get that notification, all right? So, you know what I always say, don't hate, congratulate. Show some love, because that don't cost you nothing. Appreciate. But no matter what you do, ladies and gentlemen, always keep it comics. Peace. I'll see you guys next video. You know what it is.